everyone, my name is Xiomara Mewa. I am with Housing and Education Alliance. I'm the advisor for the Florida Hardest Hit program. And today we're going to discuss what the program does, who it helps, and what type of benefits you can receive when you apply if you're eligible. The Florida Hardest Hit program is a program that is designed for homeowners who lose their jobs through no fault of their own, or homeowners who the hours were reduced through no fault of their own, of course. And if you're self-employed and your business has lost income due to the economy, at least 10%. There are two different parts of the program. There is the mortgage assistance program, and then there's the loan reinstatement program. And those two, they'll work in conjunction together. If you get approved for both, you will get help with your monthly payment up to 12 months or $24,000, whichever occurs first. And then the other part of that program is to bring your loan current, and available is up to $18,000 to bring you current. The second part of the program is for homeowners who can afford to make their monthly payment but have past due payments because they lost their job. So that's available for up to $25,000 if we're just going to help you bring your mortgage current and you can afford to make your payment. Okay, now I'm going to give you some tips on how to be successful at completing your application and making it faster for me to receive it and have everything I need to help you as soon as possible. When you complete your application, you go online. Unfortunately, a lot of customers think that when they complete the online application, it is done and that's it. The next step is very important. It is to print the application and sign it by hand, because this is related to your loan, and no loan document can be signed electronically or just simply submitted online without printing and signing it. So you sign it, and then when you print the application, you will see a submission checklist. That submission checklist is your guide to submit the supporting documentations that are necessary to process your application. I'm going to go over the whole list, because there's a lot of tips there that can help you successfully complete your application. The first thing is that the list of supporting documentation, it's not optional. Everything that's in there that applies to you must be submitted. Otherwise, I don't have a complete application to help you. The number one thing on the list is copy of the deed. I wanted to say to you not to worry about that. I can get that for you, because I don't just need that. I need a copy of other things that was recorded with the county. So I'll get that at the same time for you to save you some time. The next thing is a lot of clients, sometimes they don't have a mortgage statement, and a document that has your name, your loan amount, your account number, the name of the borrowers, and a breakdown of your monthly payment is extremely important, because we need to know if you're eligible, who are we going to contact and how much we're going to pay on your behalf. A tip about the mortgage statement: if you have one, and if it's old, 5-6 months, a year, as long as it is from the same lender that you're still with, I can accept that. That's not a problem. The income, let's talk about the income. The income is for everyone that's over 18 years of age. Any income is required proof of the last 8 weeks from the time that you apply. That's taxable and non-taxable income. The other thing that it's on the list is the last 2 months bank statements. The last 2 months bank statements is for any account that you have. Bank statements need to include all pages. If it's 1 of 8, I need all 8, because the lender doesn't know that it's blank or anything, it's got a little balance. That's not the question. The question is to receive all the pages. Also, keep in mind that if you have any transfers from other accounts and you don't provide the bank statements, I will have to request it, because any account that you have, you must provide the last 2 months bank statements. The bank statements will be reviewed for any deposits over $100 that are cash deposits, ATM deposits, the transfer deposits. So if you give me all the accounts, I can see that a transfer came from another account that you already provided. But anything that doesn't have a source, we want to know. Did somebody help you out? Did you sell something? Do you have another job? That's the reason why. So a letter of explanation with those deposits over $100 is required. Next, let's talk about unemployment documentation. This program is pretty much specifically for the ones that lost their job through no fault of their own and are receiving unemployment. That's pretty much an automatic approval if everything else fails. The documentation from unemployment, it's a good guide that you more than likely will qualify if you've passed all the other tests that are required. The copy of the unemployment eligibility letter, it's very important. The fact that you are receiving payments into your bank account or your Epic card, that's good. I need, last 2 months, and if it's direct deposit, I'll see it. If you get it through your Epic card, we'll get that. I'll help you get that. But I need to know what is the gross amount. If you have anything taken out, that's not telling the program that is the gross amount. So that's why the letter, because it says your gross amount, $275 a week, for example, we know what numbers to work with. And this is all about numbers. So the numbers need to be gross, and they need to be correct, and they need to be documented. So if you submit it with your package, a lot better for you. The next thing that we can talk about is I'm going to tell you a little bit about unemployment. If when you apply for the Florida Hardest Hit program, your unemployment benefits have ended, proof in writing that they ended is required. So when they send you that letter, you no longer will be receiving unemployment benefits. That letter is golden. You will need it for this program, because it tells us that your hardship was because you lost your job, you were receiving unemployment, and now it has ended, so you have zero. You don't have to have any income to participate in this program. The next thing is for self-employed borrowers. The one thing that is extremely important and a little bit of a hardship for homeowners who are self-employed and then they find themselves not making enough money, they will need a profit and loss statement year to date. So if it's January now, I probably would need one for the whole year of 2013 because it's the beginning of the year, for example. A profit and loss year to date is important, and it has to be prepared by a third party. Maybe the person that prepares your taxes, maybe a friend that's a CPA, a bookkeeper, you name it. As long as you provide the third party information that they prepare this for you, I have never had any problems with that. You will need your tax returns for the last 2 years, business and personal, if you're that big that you do business tax returns. A lot of small businesses just do the personal, and then they do include their business in that one. Very important, the tax returns, a lot of people don't sign them. When you send them to us, please sign page 2. We also need, if you have business bank accounts, we need those with a personal bank account. Another thing very important is that sometimes small businesses do not file taxes like all the time. Maybe they haven't filed for 2012 right now. But in order to participate in this program, you must have the last 2 years tax returns. Otherwise, I'll have to wait until you do it. I'll work with you. We'll see what we can do. The next item is homeowners association statement. If you have a homeowners association due, this document is required because it will be computed with your mortgage payment for eligibility purposes. If your association, if your payment is monthly, quarterly, or yearly, it has to be written. I have to know if I'm going to calculate that you pay $200 a month, quarterly, or yearly. Very important for you. The other thing is that unfortunately, if your homeowners association hasn't been paid and they file foreclosure on your property and they served you a summons and is an active foreclosure case, you will not be able to participate in this program. If you're able to resolve it, I've had a customer or two in the last 2.5 years that were able to resolve that, and the foreclosure was stopped, and then I can possibly continue with the application if that happens. The other thing is the homeowner's property insurance and property taxes. A lot of people escrow those two items with their mortgage payment, but if you don't, it is your responsibility to pay them and keep them current while you are in this program. If they're not included in your monthly payment, they will not be paid for you. You will still be responsible for them. Second mortgages. If you have a second mortgage, it is pretty much the same as the homeowners association issue. If they have you in foreclosure, if they have served you with a summons of foreclosure, unfortunately, we will not be able to complete your application for hardest hit for your first mortgage while your second is in foreclosure. The other topic is bankruptcy. A bankruptcy discharge letter is required. That one that the judge signed and sent to you. Please send that with your package if you did a bankruptcy since you purchased your home. And if you are in active bankruptcy, like Chapter 13, unfortunately, we will not be able to process your application if you are in a Chapter 13 and still making payments. I do take a look at it, and if you have very little left to pay, maybe you can make some type of arrangement, because that could be the difference from getting help for 12 months and getting some reinstatement funds from this program. So, but at least you have the tip to know. The next thing is divorce decree. Divorce is, it's okay if you're divorced, if you put down that you're divorced on your application. I have this to say, when you close on your loan the last time, you were married, and now you are divorced and you're applying for the Florida hardest hit, and there's going to be some type of modification made on your current loan. Proof that you are divorced is required. So please send your divorce decree. Importantly, that it mentions that what happened with the property ownership situation with your spouse, that he, that is your property now, something like that. If I've had cases where the ownership is still both, even after marriage, just to give you an instance, an example. If you prove that your spouse lives somewhere else, and I'll tell you what documentation and when case by case, then that works okay too, as long as you prove that they no longer live at the property. When there is a divorce decree, if you have dependents that are underage, if there is child support income, this program is all about the income That's really what, there's a income limit. So we always are looking at every document for to see if you have any other income. So we can ask you for 2 months proof of that income so we can calculate it. So child support payments, they are considered income. I want to say to you that when you prepare your package, go ahead and send a copy of your driver's license, because I do need to verify that you are a Florida resident. So a copy of your driver's license for all borrowers is required. A borrower is someone who's responsible for the debt the last time the home was purchased or refinanced, and their name appears on the mortgage statement. Unfortunately, I have a lot of couples that apply, and someone is the borrower. The person who has the hardship is a co-owner but not a co-borrower. A co-borrower is responsible for the debt. A co-owner is your spouse. In Florida, that's a co-owner. So it's important that the co-borrower is responsible for the debt, and usually how you can tell real quickly is that both names will appear on the bank statement. So check your statement. Please remember that applying for the Florida Hardest Hit and providing an application, and when we request documentation from you, is pretty much to see if you are eligible. There's no guarantee that by us asking for any documents you are eligible for anything. As you can see, this is a very lengthy process, and there's a lot of documents that need to be requested, verified, and saved to your file. For another entity, Tallahassee, to check it and make sure that I collected all the right documents. At Housing and Education Alliance, we will do everything possible to provide the assistance that you need as quickly as possible. Should you be found ineligible, Housing and Education Alliance has other programs. We never not referred you to other options to see if there is anything else that we can do for you, anything else that your lender has for you. A lot of times, because you're ineligible with Florida Hardest Hit, it doesn't mean that you're ineligible for other programs. So we can definitely look that up for you. Well, lastly, like I said at the beginning, my name is Xiomara Mewa. I pretty much foresee all the files that come in. So if you send us a file, I'm going to see it. I'm going to be, having a relationship with you, and hopefully you can be another happy borrower, like we have many that we have saved them from foreclosure, literally. Should you have any questions that I didn't cover on this video, please feel free to call me. You can schedule an appointment and meet with me. And our office number is 813-932-4663.